Welcome to Eisen Overtime. Instead of reviewing the inanities that we normally do every 3 hours of a Super Bowl show, we are pleased to turn to the left and have a little bit of gravitas to the situation right here. The Honorable 48th Mayor of Minneapolis, Minnesota, Jacob Frey. Good to see you, Mayor Frey. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks so much for having me, Rich.
Come on. Thanks for having this show in Minneapolis. Thanks for having the city roll out the red carpet for all of us. I want to start this interview off, however, with you remarking about our set.
Yeah.
You were the only person to say this about our set this week so far, and I could damn well assure everybody for the rest of this week. What does this set mean for you?
Well, I think I had one of my very first fundraisers when I was just running for the city council in this room, and it looks nothing like it did back then. And JB Smoove was not here when I first ran for office, but he's here now anyway.
I know. Yeah, there was no fake fire. There's no. They created this thing out of whole cloth. So you've been in this room before, essentially.
I most definitely have. And the Lombardi Trophy was also not present when I was first running for office.
Are you sure about that? You sure?
Something tells me. Something tells me.
So, what has it been like in this town with the Viking season, the way it turned out, obviously, with that exhilarating finish to the last game that was played in that building, and then the hopes that you could host the first Super Bowl with the home team in the building. What about that?
Yeah, well, we were looking to set some history, and obviously the whole entire city was humming after the Minneapolis miracle that we saw. But yeah, we kind of got our butts kicked in that last game, and so it's definitely a disappointment. But, notwithstanding that, we're hosting the Super Bowl, and we're going to throw one hell of a party.
Yeah, and so how's it been so far? What have you seen of this town during the Super Bowl?
Well, I think one of the cool things is in Minneapolis, we embrace the cold. It might be 0 degrees or 5 degrees out there, but you'll see everybody out cross country skiing and, drinking beer outside and setting up a whole kite festival. And that's classic Minneapolis. It's the bold north here, and we really embrace that mentality in a big way.
So do you have any tips on how we in the media can embrace the cold without, I guess, the open container situation for somebody like myself? Or?
Well, the open container always helps, and carrying a flask around never hurts either.
Okay.
But
I don't know if Roger Goodell would give that the check mark on my Sunday morning. Well, it would make the 8.5 hours go really
Roger
easy
Goodell
for
is
me.
not the mayor of Minneapolis, though. So
yes, there's a new flow chart here
in
Minneapolis. I get it, but yeah, how can I embrace the cold? I have no choice, I guess.
Yeah, well, you dress up warm.
Okay.
You keep active. You move around.
Yes.
And then you smile real big at everybody that you see on the street. When you combine those 3 or 4 aspects, man, that's a recipe for success.
Right. Now, interestingly enough, you have a law degree from Villanova, correct?
I do.
Okay, so you know what it would mean for Philly fans to get this big
do know
moment
what
here
it
in this
means
town.
for Philly fans. I also have some exposure to Philly fans, and it ain't all positive. I got to say that. But no, we'll be greasing the lampposts for all the Philly fans that come out here just so that they feel at home.
You've given that directive already, that executive order?
Yes.
Now, I think you did touch upon there, with some humor, the Philly, Minnesota fan interaction, if you will, in Philadelphia, and that there's some hard feelings from some Minnesotans here. What would you agree with that, and how do you counsel against anybody who might not roll out a carpet here in this town?
Well, I would agree with the home team spirit, and to the extent there were some hard feelings, I get it. But we value sportsmanship here in Minneapolis, and so we're welcoming everybody in, whether you're from New England or Philadelphia or Tampa Bay, who knows?
Okay. Have you done ice fishing here in this town? Have you done it yet?
I have had a very brief experience ice fishing, but interestingly, the vast majority of the time when you're ice fishing, you're not really fishing. You're just sitting there talking with a bunch of, friends, and you're drinking a beer usually.
Okay, very good. Yeah. So now you are a long distance runner. Is that a true story? Is it something?
I ran for Team USA at the Pan American Games.
No
so
kidding.
Actually, that's why I'm in Minneapolis right now. I grew up on the East Coast, but I ran the Twin Cities Marathon, and I thought the city was spectacular and got a job out here.
No kidding.
Yeah.
So you're running around in the Twin Cities Marathon, just, had a little bit on a swivel while you're competing, obviously, and thinking, this is not a bad place for me to set up shop?
Yeah, I remember. So this was the qualifier for the Pan American Games, and my dream all through my running career was to run for Team USA. That's most people's dream.
Sure.
And this was the big race. And I remember somewhere around mile 15, the guy who was running next to me turned to me and said, "Man, this is like a spectacular city, isn't it? It's like a city in a park." And it is. That's really what Minneapolis is. It's the healthiest city in the country. It is active as all hell. And yeah, it is. We sort of embrace nature. We've got lakes. The Mississippi River runs right through the center. It's an awesome spot. It really is.
Now, and you were the 48th mayor. You were just sworn in
a few weeks ago.
Just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so we're kind of hitting the ground running. We getting off to a great start with the Super Bowl of all things. I mean,
not a bad first order of business,
not
man.
Not bad at all.
Well, welcome back to the room where it started.
That's right.
This is where it all started, here in this room. After you ran your race, you come in here, run for city council. Now you're the mayor of this place.
It's my dream job, representing the greatest city in the whole world as mayor. So I'm going to make sure to do it well. Well,
look, thank you so far for the hospitality that we've already felt. It's been pretty neat. That's a beautiful building.
Yeah, isn't it?
Thank you for your help with setting up having us set up shop here in this beautiful space. We've already heard from so many members of our industry that, man, how did you find that place? How'd you get that place? Well, we know the mayor of Minneapolis.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're really happy to have you.
Thanks. Thank you, Mayor. Mayor Jacob Frey here on Eisen Overtime, here from the Super Bowl city of Minneapolis. Thanks for joining.
Thanks a lot, Rick. Really appreciate it.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on radio stations across the country and audience.